There may be a pause on most of the president's tariffs, but the average tariff rate is still up to 24%, and the major, now 145% tariff remains in place on goods from China. It's all enough to send the stock market plunging once again. Good afternoon. I'm Sam Shocker. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at a live look right now at the Dow Jones. It is down nearly 1,200 points as we are watching it at 12:01. Analysts say traders are reacting to economists saying the damage from the extra taxes is already done. JP Morgan is still seeing a 60% recession chance, while Goldman Sachs says it is a, quote, coin flip. President Trump did up the tariffs on China to 145% yesterday, as we just mentioned, and China's retaliatory 84% tariffs on U.S. imports to China went into effect today. China does say it is willing to negotiate with the U.S., but if Trump keeps escalating the trade war, the country will not back down. There is some good news. Inflation cooled to a 6-month low last month. It was just down 0.1%, but the current 2.4% rate is closer to what the Federal Reserve has been working toward. But economists still warn that the sweeping tariffs recently imposed by the White House could soon impact inflation rates. The U.S. House has adopted a budget blueprint for President Trump's agenda. That means Republican lawmakers can start crafting a massive party line bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson had worked into the night to turn around conservative lawmakers who were not supportive of the plan, but reportedly was able to sway them with assurances of making as much of a $1.5 trillion in cuts. The bill is central to President Trump's agenda of tax breaks, spending cuts, and mass deportations. But the final draft isn't expected for several weeks. Switching gears here, the winds have calmed. Look at that. Blue skies once again, gorgeous. We're getting ready for some 80-degree temperatures. Joining me now, Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team. Keely, I am welcoming this warm weather.
Yeah, we're getting ready for some record heat on Saturday, but also some windy weather. We'll talk about that in just a second, but let's enjoy this gorgeous view from Lookout Mountain. Beautiful blue skies. We're 60 degrees at DIA. The winds are calm, so quite a bit different than yesterday. Winds are going to pick up across the northeast corner of the state, but no alerts in effect as of yet. Current temperatures, we're in the upper 50s, 60s across the plains. We're looking at 40s and 50s right now in the high country. Sunny and mild. That is your forecast for the Denver metro area today. We'll top out right around 69 degrees with 60s across the northern plains, 70s across the southern plains, 40s and 50s in the mountains. And your hour-by-hour forecast, not even a cloud. We're going to reach our high of 69 degrees right around 4 o'clock, and we're going to stay in the upper 60s right on through dinner time. So that beautiful weather and the light winds, topping a look at our weather headlines for today. Fire danger, that does increase on Saturday as those winds really pick up and the relative humidity drops as well. Friday and Saturday, near record heat. I'll have more details on that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Keely, thank you. The Arapahoe Sheriff's Office has stepped up efforts to find a missing elderly man. Thomas Alb, a 70-year-old with dementia and a traumatic brain injury, hasn't been seen or heard from in 6 days. He was spotted last Friday on Fremont Avenue near Arapahoe and Parker Roads in Centennial. And yesterday, sheriff's deputies used drones to look for him along roads, trails, and wooded areas, but did not find him. If you have any information, please call the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. The district attorney for Lakewood will not be charging 3 Thornton police officers who shot and killed 2 people after chasing their car into Lakewood. The shooting happened in April of last year. 3 officers and 2 unmarked cars spotted a car in Thornton with a missing license plate and followed it. Neither of the officers' cars had their sirens on at the time. Investigators say the driver they were following eventually stopped, got out of the car, and fired a gun. But the chase picked back up before ending in Lakewood when the 2 people, Jasmine Castro and Joby Vigil, got out of the car. Officers shot them, killing them both. Jasmine had a gun. Joby did not. The district attorney, a Democrat, says investigators considered some of the actions of one of the officers, quote, unreasonable. They say the officer couldn't see either person's hands and did not give any commands before shooting. But the DA eventually determined a jury would be unlikely to convict. A community meeting will be held tonight on the oil well in Weld County that continues to spew fluids. It's been ongoing in the Gailton community, about 14 miles northeast of Greeley, since Sunday night. But Weld County officials say crews will be working to remove additional equipment from the site and prepare to stop the release today. Roughly a dozen people have been out of their homes all this time, and they will discuss the county's efforts and their struggles in a community meeting at 6 tonight. Protection devices are in place to help keep fluid from the well away from ditches and waterways. Chevron, Gilton Fire Department, and Weld County add that air monitoring results remain below levels of concern for public health. In world news, the rescue operation at the collapsed nightclub in the Dominican Republic is now over and has now shifted to a recovery effort. Hundreds of rescue workers have been combing through the rubble since the collapse Tuesday night. Authorities confirmed at least 221 deaths, but it's unclear how many people are still missing and what caused the roof to come crashing down. An American ballerina is on her way back to the U.S. after being imprisoned in Russia for more than a year. Ksenia Karolina, who also has Russian citizenship, was arrested for treason while visiting her family in Russia last year. Her boyfriend says that arrest was tied to an alleged donation to a Ukrainian charity after Russia invaded in 2022. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says President Trump secured her release.